for the year. Dylan, that's all. Have a great weekend. Back to you.
Thank you very much. The heat intensifying on Halliburton. Democratic Senator Joe Lieberman now calling for the oil giant's Iraqi contracts to be suspended.
An auditor warned the company that they were overcharging the United States government and taxpayers for the fuel they were bringing into Iraq, and yet the company just continued to overcharge. This is really outrageous. We're at war, and people should not be allowed to profiteer from a war.
What's the potential political fallout from this scandal? Joining us, John Harwood, the Wall Street Journal's national political editor. What's the answer, John?
Well, Dylan, there are a couple of areas where this could have fallout. One, obviously, is the presidential race, where you've got a bunch of Democrats who are really making a twofold argument. One is that the administration is messing up the post-war reconstruction of Iraq, that they're not handling the contracting correctly, that they shouldn't have been so brusque in shutting out other countries, and also that they're rewarding their own pals and cronies, including a firm where Dick Cheney once headed the firm. So this is how Democrats can make hay in it. Well, internationally, the administration's trying to get other nations to cooperate in the reconstruction, and anything that gives the appearance that profit is the motive behind the way this reconstruction is being run could be harmful diplomatically as well.
Halliburton, here with us just yesterday, says that they're not profiting, that this is a function of the cost of getting the oil in.
Right, and they say that ultimately they're going to be cleared by this investigation, and so we'll see what the outcome is. But Halliburton stands as a symbol of a vulnerability of the administration, and that is that many Americans think that the Bush White House and the Republican Party generally are a little bit too close to big business. I saw that this week in a focus group in Toledo, Ohio, where Democrats were talking about how Republicans cozying up to the special interests. So the administration has got to demonstrate that it's being tough on this, and that taxpayers are not being overcharged to help Dick Cheney's old company.
Knowing full well that Dick Cheney, who is our vice president, was the chief executive of this company, how can the Bush administration feel as comfortable as they are providing no bid contracts to the company and allowing these sort of scandals to bubble up? They know that this is a potential problem going in.
They do, but obviously Halliburton's a company that provides services in precisely this area, so I don't think anybody argues that the Halliburton company is completely incompetent or shouldn't participate in some way, but the administration does have to, through this auditing process and the investigation, show that it's not giving special favors to that company.
Is this issue big enough to sway the election?
Absolutely not. This is it's a significant talking point for Democrats right now. It's that they're making a little bit of hay over, but when you really look in context at the bigger picture, the conflict in Iraq, the removal of Saddam Hussein, his capture this week, and maybe some other progress in the war on terrorism. We've just seen the White House a few minutes ago announce that Libya is going to permit inspection and destruction of some weapons materials that it has had over the years. Those are a lot bigger issues than this contracting issue.
All right, John, we always appreciate your time. Have a great weekend. John Harwood,
you too.
From the Wall Street Journal. Coming up on Bullseye, rebuilding the World Trade Center, the new design for the Freedom Tower, unveiled this morning. In the middle of it all, Larry Silverstein, the Trade Center leaseholder. We'll talk to him next. And the countdown is on. There isn't much time left to get your holiday shopping done. Retailers looking for a huge weekend. We have the details because it's your money.
CNBC Asia. Profit from it.
It started with a vision, driven by a strong desire to experiment and create. Bang & Olufsen was born. By combining innovative and intelligent ideas with ultimate performance, Bang & Olufsen creates solutions that stimulate the senses, and touch the emotions. By embracing the imagination, Bang & Olufsen products are developed through state-of-the-art technology and design, and through that provides experiences that defy all expectations. And that makes it truly special. Bang & Olufsen.
What if you could communicate with anything? What if you could be in two places at once? What if one day you could share knowledge with the world? At Nokia, we never stop challenging the future.
People don't just watch CNBC, they use CNBC.
Our live coverage and in-depth analysis of global financial markets means you'll always be on top of breaking news. Legal trouble at Rio Tinto's Indonesian.
It's important knowing who the market's winners and losers are.
Shares soared. Profit would likely
Knowing when to make your move.
It's the CNBC Edge that will help you stay ahead. Profit from it today.
Mark Lowry and Amanda Drury on CNBC. Profit from it.
Whether he's sipping spirits by the ocean or trying on the latest fashions, Mike Higginus always walks a few steps outside the box.
A twisting skyscraper will stand in the center of downtown Manhattan by the year 2008. The final design of the tower to replace the World Trade Center was unveiled earlier today. It will be the world's tallest building at 1,776 feet, and the entire project, which includes a memorial, is estimated to cost up to $12 billion over the next decade. Earlier, I spoke with Larry Silverstein, the World Trade Center leaseholder, and asked him what makes this the right design.
Well, several things. The first is that it is consistent with the Libeskind Master Plan. It is 1,776 feet in height. It will contain 70 occupied floors. It will be iconic in the sense that it will represent the new skyline of New York. It'll redefine it as it has needed redefinition since 9/11. And if illuminated at night, will be visible to any place in the metro area of the city. It is, I think, a spectacular design that is at once both practical and beautiful.
How have you balanced out the varying concerns, particularly that between the use of commercial space while preserving the memorial component?
Well, the Libeskind Master Plan sets aside, if you will, a designated space of almost 5 acres in size, which will serve as the site for the memorial garden. And that's the entire southwestern portion of the 16-acre World Trade Center site. The Freedom Tower is just to the north of that location, at the northwest corner of the site, and is juxtaposed to it. The site also allows, the site plan also provides for other footprints for other office buildings along the eastern boundary of the site and also to the south of it.
What is the timetable for construction?
Well, the Governor Pataki has given us an aggressive time frame and has asked for a commitment that we will place the cornerstone of the foundation into position on the 3rd anniversary of 9/11. So in the fall of 2004, we will be laying the cornerstone of the Freedom Tower, the world's tallest. He's asked me also for the top out of steel erection 2 years later in 2006. And with that schedule held, we should have a completed Freedom Tower, the world's tallest, by the end of 2008 or the beginning of 2009.
Are there any significant policy, regulatory, or financial barriers to proceeding on that timetable right now?
None.
Do you have all of the funding that you need, and do you feel that the resolution of the insurance claims following the disaster were appropriate?
Well, the insurance claims are totally unresolved, and that is the reason why the litigation, the trial itself, relevant to one event versus two events, etc., starts on the 9th day of February of next year. However, we have a sufficient amount of money in hand from a group of insurers who have opted to get off the 9% interest clock that ticks against them by statute on one event, and have paid us their portion share of the one event. As a result, we have the money necessary with which to start and build the Freedom Tower. As a result of the litigation, we expect to shortly have $3.55 billion, which is the amount that is required to compensate for one event. And the litigation will thereafter move forward with respect to the second event to almost double that amount.
In the event, though, that the ruling is made that the disaster and tragedy as it occurred was one single event, does the money still exist to complete the project?
The money exists to certainly complete the Freedom Tower. Completion of the project as we see it will require multiple events. And in the last analysis, the insurance company proceeds from multiple events is what will be required to build out the Trade Center as New Yorkers have seen it and deserve to have it rebuilt.
So if you lose, if the lawsuit turns out to be a single event, where does that leave the building as planned?
The lawsuit will not turn out to be a single event. If you follow the law, read the amicus brief, for example, of the Attorney General of the State of New York, Elliot Spitzer, it's clear that this is multiple events with two separate planes hitting two separate towers at two different time frames, bringing those towers down independently of each other. You have the pure, clear, clean definition of multiple events.
Do you have tenants, or are you do you have tenants for the new building?
Do we have tenants for the Freedom Tower at this juncture? No, it's kind of premature to accomplish that. This building is 5 years for completion. But I will tell you, interestingly and very excitingly, we have been contacted by some very significant space users, each with requirements of in excess of 1 million square feet, who have indicated an interest at looking at the plans for the Freedom Tower as a potential home for their operations.
Who are they?
That I'm not at liberty to discuss at this juncture.
Mr. Silverstein, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
On Bullseye, Italy's biggest food company, Parmalat, revealing has a big hole in its bank account. You'll never guess how much money they said they had and actually did not. Also, why is there no joy in Toyland these days? The latest victim in the toy wars is KB Toys. We got that story more. Bullseye after the break.
From all of us here at CNBC, happy holidays and have a great 2004.
Visit Weston.com, member of Starwood Preferred Guest.
When it's Samsung, it's extraordinary. Driven by DNIE technology, Samsung LCD TV, the power of LCD.
Sit back and relax. CNBC's Red Hot Weekends. New shows, new entertainment, new on CNBC. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, late night talk show's best. What you got red? I'll show the kids the money. Live from New York, it's Saturday night. Saturday Night Live, Emmy Award-winning comedy. I'm awesome. MGM Movies, Hollywood's best. Hey, come on! And outside Inside the Box, your insight to the most interesting and unconventional business stories.
Took 4 seconds to grab a guy's attention.
It's all here, sizzling hot. Love it. CNBC, spicing up your weekend.
China Life's public listing brings back memories of the good old IPO frenzy days, but our guest says the company generated more frenzy than it really deserves. Join us as we talk with Sarah McBride, staff reporter with the Wall Street Journal, about the mainland's insurance sector and the fever behind Chinese IPOs. That's this week on Asia Market Week.
Time now for our roundtable. Becky Quick, Hillary Kramer with me, and we start with a look at the weekend. How much shopping and how much of a payoff for the retailers? Are you guys shopping this weekend?
I'm shopping. Oh, we jumped at that one.
Yeah, the National Retail Federation just put out a study yesterday. They say Americans on average still have to do about 30% of their holiday shopping. I got to do a lot more than that.
What percent do you have to do?
Oh, about 65%.
You?
Yeah, well, I have to do all of it, Dylan. But it means procrastinating, like so many shoppers are going to get the better deals because we're seeing such discounts. Like Sears already has slashed many of their items 50%, an additional 10%. And we're seeing the major retailers
Shoppers have been conditioned for this. You know, over the last 3 years, retailers put up too much inventory in the beginning of the year. They couldn't get rid of all of it, so they had to start marking down really heavily. And it's taught people, it's like the Pavlov's dogs, don't buy until the very end because you'll get a better deal.
This is the thing that I honestly, I guess I understand it intellectually, but on an experience level, it still doesn't make sense to me. Of all the retailers, the toy companies are getting murdered. They're getting murdered. KB Toys now saying they don't have enough money to pay their suppliers. We talked about the FAO bankruptcy. Toys R Us continues to struggle. It doesn't make sense to me because toy stores are an experience. It's an experience shopping. You take the kids, you go in.
But shoppers are smarter than they've ever been before. And when it comes to the Walmarts and the Targets and the Kohl's, that's where they're going for these discounts because they're significant.
And I remember back in 1999 when Walmart took the lead position. It finally took over as the #1 toy retailer in the entire United States, stole everything away from everybody else. People still go to the FAO Schwartz's. They still go to these fancy stores, especially like in Times Square. They go to these places, but that's not where they buy all their holiday gifts. They go somewhere else to get the better prices.
Is the toy store finished?
I believe the toy store is finished as we knew it. Maybe there'll be a specialty toy store here or there that will emerge, but generally it really has. But the good news, though, is there's still supposed to be $217 billion here. It should be a 5.7% increase over last year. So at least it's just toys and it's not the other areas of business.
A couple of news stories today of pretty good consequence. One, another monopoly lawsuit filed against Microsoft. This one from Real Networks, which makes that desktop media player.
Right.
Streaming video. Suing Microsoft, asking for $1 billion in damages, saying that because Microsoft controls a desktop, that they're not getting users. It sounds similar to the Netscape case. How much credibility does it have?
Wow, this one, I just don't feel as bad for Real Networks as I used to feel for Netscape when they went through the whole browser wars with what was happening. Because I think they're crying about this.
I agree with you.
It's an innovator. They're another innovator who's getting squeezed out.
Well, but it's also about the shareholder, and that's where I'm coming from with this. And maybe Becky agrees. For once, I want to see Microsoft be able to focus on their core business and really start to build up again and be innovative and have ingenuity. And we saw them really make some positive moves this week, right? With the spam, with the spam laws and trying to get together with Attorney General.
But just because you want to see Microsoft come back and do great doesn't mean that Real Networks case lacks merit.
But you know what? You got to look at this, and you just worry a little bit that they're looking for a payoff. They're looking to get paid off, just like AOL did, and that it makes me feel like it's a little greedy. It makes me just feel like.
All right, last story of the day. This is sort of a little bit obscure in the name in America, although I think if you're a mother, the milk tends to be around more. I'm talking about Parmalat, which is a European milk company. It's the milk that you don't have to put in the refrigerator.
Which is great.
It's a great product all over Europe. It's popular with particularly with small children in America. This company today, it turns out, said that they had nearly a $5 billion bank account that they were holding with Bank of America that did not exist.
Does this remind you of Enron or what? It's frightening to think that they could actually be coming off with this. You had to have Bank of America.
But, you know, for once, at least people are seeing that when it comes down to it, accounting standards are actually less lenient outside of the United States. And we kept saying that during all of these scandals and Enrons and the whole list. But now we're finally seeing that $4.9 billion could maybe just not be there in the Cayman Islands when it was supposed to be.
Happy shopping, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and Happy Holidays to you. That does it for Bullseye. Going into the Christmas week, the news with Brian Williams begins in 3 minutes' time.
Don't miss the definitive roundup of Asia's financial week. That's Asia Market Week, coming up next. CNBC Asia. Profit from it.
Mount Everest Base Camp, 17,000 feet.
家具年终大拍卖，所有厂牌名床全面29折，欧风床组12000，高级皮沙发9900，进口布沙发1万块，整组餐桌椅3700，内湖民权大桥旁，电话27923888，巨人家具，家具巨人。
东湖建成中医多为名医师及医护人员竭诚服务，采用全面电脑零线作业。提高医疗服务品质。东湖建成中医位于台北市内湖区东湖路108号。建成中医赞。东湖建成中医服务专线02-2633-7511，2633-7511。
东森开放不等，惊喜连连大方送，宽频标网加电话哈拉，天天最低只要25元，送您万元热门3C优惠券，还可免费畅玩彩虹冒险 Online Game。现在申办哈拉 A 奖金，惊喜连连，省多赚更多。详情请洽0809-030-050。
Every minute, every hour, all day, every trading day. From Europe to the US and across Asia.
Let's get straight to the market.
CNBC has all the latest business news and up-to-the-minute financial information.
Wall Street's a
pretty positive start to keep you informed and connected to the global and regional economies and businesses. CNBC. Profit from it.
On the Asian stock market this morning.
The only show that keeps you up to date with the day's market movers across Asia.
Numbers should bode well.
The other big story.
Live market coverage and real-time data as the trading day heats up.
Scoop. Analysts like this.
News.
Huge flight into bond markets.
Business opportunities that could make you money.
Strong cash flow, strong balance sheets. And that's the sort of thing you need to focus on.
Your money is their business.
What defensive actions do you recommend?
Asset allocation, most important.
Make sure you're watching. Market Watch. Weekdays.
各位投资朋友，大家好，我是亚洲投顾姚以辉，欢迎收看股市解码。华尔街有一句名言：如果你使用95%的人在使用工具，你绝对不